Why is Dan Cassidy always in a great mood?
I don't know.
You don't know? You want to take a guess?
Why is he always in a good mood? I don't know.
Yeah.
Feeling blue? I don't know.
That's a really good guess. But the correct answer is when he goes outside, he realizes the weather's always beautiful. That's a good one. As you can see, I can't find my friggin' intro to the show.
We're squares.
We're squares now, so I think this makes us circles. Do you like being a circle better? That's interesting.
It is.
They were back to how we used to be. They moved some stuff around on this StreamYard, and now I can't find squat on here. The show's off to a heck of a start already, isn't it? I literally have no idea where the intro went.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? Because he looks out the window and every day it's beautiful. Ha 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 ha. Now it feels like a real show. Welcome to the greatest DC comic show on YouTube, Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. On behalf of Tim the Comic Collector, doesn't show up, not sure if he cares anymore. On behalf of ComicFoo 2814.
We have a doctor's note.
Yeah. And on behalf of myself and Signature King, Tony Fett, we welcome you to today's show. How are you, Tony? What's new?
I'm good. I'm great. Got out this weekend, did a lot of cool stuff. Did some comic book related stuff, so that's always fun.
Was there dad tax on your kids' Halloween candy?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
What was great about trick-or-treating is every year we go to a relative of my wife, and they live in a really great community that really gets into the festivities, and it's HOA ran, and the HOA has a like a point like halfway during trick-or-treating where you can load up on hot dogs and chili and coffee and hot cocoa and juice for the kids, so that's why I go.
Nice.
And get a couple of hot dogs and some soup.
That's right. You put some hot dogs in your trick-or-treat bag and you pour some soup in your trick-or-treat bag.
Yeah.
I read about this house on Instagram. I think it was in Illinois that, they put the candy bowl out with the note that says, please take one. And they have all sorts of different candy. And then they have a potato in there too. And they count how many times people take the potato. And this year, I think it's 26 times. And the kids are like, oh, this is the potato house. It's become like a legend now.
Nice.
So.
That's interesting. So they have like a bowl of candy and a bowl of potatoes?
No, they have, I think they have one potato in the candy. And then if someone takes it, they replace it.
I would just have a bowl of candy and a bowl of potatoes. That way I don't have to replace it.
Oh.
Just, there's a bowl of 25 potatoes when they're gone. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That sounds like something I would do.
I would have candy, potato, sweet potato.
Nice.
Throw another wrench into the mix.
That's right.
Or maybe some yams.
Yeah.
Give people some options. Carrots.
All right. And then they said something like, every day life brings you choices and choose potato.
Always choose potato.
But look at that. They could have had Snickers or Reese's or Kit Kat or Hershey's or M&M's or any of those, and they chose potato.
Yeah, but you can't make a bag of fries out of chocolate.
True.
So I kind of like French fries more than chocolate, to be honest with you.
Ooh, I do like some French fries.
Some nice, crispy French fries.
Yeah.
Out here, living on the East Coast, I really miss A&W.
Oh, yeah, where the food's as good as the root beer.
Yeah, there's really no A&W out here. And A&W has some of the best fries in America. In my
opinion. Yeah, they do have good fries.
Yeah, it's some of the best root beer floats.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And there's nothing like that out here. So it's
no. Yeah.
I miss my Casey's Pizza, I miss my Pizza Ranch, and I miss my A&W fries.
Not big on the Pizza Ranch.
That's okay. Nobody's perfect.
It all tastes the same to me. How come the chicken pizza tastes like the pepperoni pizza, and that tastes like the dessert pizza, and that tastes like, the fish? How come that all tastes the same?
I don't know. During COVID, they couldn't have people in the restaurant, and they couldn't be making pizza a whole lot because of a lot of restrictions. So they were selling their pizzas like frozen. You just go home and bake them. Mm-hmm. They made more revenue in the time where they were doing that because they couldn't have that than they did the previous 2 years.
Wow.
That's nuts.
That is pretty crazy.
Was inside and couldn't go anywhere, so might as well eat pizza.
Yeah, and it felt like a treat because it was something different, I guess,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. What's one thing I'm kind of happy COVID did to us? It made us appreciate more of the little things that we had. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't go to my LCS; they were shut down.
Yeah,
But I'm now more thankful that they're here. Because I didn't realize how much I would miss them until they were gone, essentially. Mm-hmm. And it made me realize what my community would be like if my LCS wasn't there.
Yeah.
Miserable. Absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
But they really did good. They had a bot. They would, if you live in a certain area, they would deliver.
That's awesome, man.
Yep. So, and once the restrictions lifted a little bit, you couldn't go inside, but they would run your subscription out to you.
Yeah, mine did that too.
Like a ridiculous, they were having fun with it, but it was fun, and I do miss that aspect of it. It was a lot of fun seeing how creative everyone could get to maintain, awareness of what was happening and still have a nice business and still be part of it. So, and now that's all gone. So now it's just, which is good. Life is back to normal, but there were some good things in my opinion that came out of it. I don't know how. LCSs are in your community were during the peak of COVID, but
well, I wasn't in this portion of where I'm living at the time that COVID was going on, so I can't speak for here, So,
well, wherever you were, was it? Did they have a presence? Was there an LCS?
No, I would go to Madison. So
Madison,
and I still stayed loyal to them, even though there's places I could get my books closer. When you have 20 plus years built up with someone, you just don't throw that away. It's 20-year relationship with them, and they take care of me so well that I don't even think about going somewhere else.
I'm in the same boat with my LCS. Even if one opened a mile or two closer, I still probably wouldn't go. I would still go, but my loyalty would lie to my shop.
Sure.
They've hooked me up, and I felt like a valued customer. There's times when they absolutely could have made an extra couple of bucks off of me, and they didn't. Mm-hmm. And in a negative way, they didn't. So that's good.
Yeah. Let's say hello to our live chatter who's joined us so far. It's That Old Comic Smell. Oh, I love that old comic smell.
Oh, yeah, those old books.
Yep. So read some Blue Devil comics back in 85, 86, putting together a run for the past year or so. That's cool. I am one issue away from completing my Blue Devil run.
Which volume?
Volume 1.
Volume 1, okay.
I'm one issue away, and that's the last issue. That's the only one I need. I look for it a lot, just don't seem to find that one in the wild.
I don't know why. Maybe it was a low print run? I don't know.
I'm not sure. But I'll find it someday, not worried about that.
Yeah, you can always go on eBay and get it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's more fun to find in the wild.
Yeah, it's more fun to find it in the wild. So before we start into the latest DC Comics news, I don't want to go any further in the show. Oh, yeah, he's confirming. Yeah, they are kind of hard to find. I just want to, before we go any further in the show, send a big congratulations to the latest One Case channel on YouTube, which is Signature King.
Yes.
That's you. Yes. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I still have no idea what happened. I wish I did, because honestly I would do it again. It was a short that was dead for like a week. It hit its normal cap. That's normal to me, which I was okay with, and I let it ride. I didn't tweet anything. All of a sudden it caught a wave on a tsunami somewhere, and it was history. I gained 169 subs just from that one short in like a 2-week span.
Wow.
And it's still ticking. I'm still going. I'm halfway to 1,100 already.
That's amazing.
And I'm thankful for it, but I'm also upset at the same time.
Why are you upset? How do I do it again?
What did I do? What keyword? What phrase? What topic?
So how many views is that at right now?
65,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 65,000 and climbing.
Wow.
That was the first time in my YouTube history that something like that's ever happened. I used to get giddy, like, oh, heck yeah, man, 1K. Oh, 6K, that was nice. And then I was like, man, I got to catch Lasso. He's like an 18K a short, man. I got to get, and I couldn't for no matter what. And then finally, one just like exploded. And I don't know what happened. I wish I did, because honestly, I would do it again.
Yeah.
Stay away from eBay because shipping.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to. I'm almost to the point with that place that, I mean, I don't use it very much, but when I do, the seller has to have multiple things that I want so I can really combine the shipping. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. So, but congratulations though on the 1K. I do think that's awesome. Are you going to have a party or a celebration, or, Cool and the gang celebrate good times? Come on.
I would love to. I don't know if the schedule is going to allow for that. It's election year. My job keeps me busy. This is the busy season for me, starting Monday. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But if you're a recent subscriber, thank you. Definitely, let's get Mr. Lasso to 1K. I think that'd be super.
Thank you. That would be awesome.
That would be very cool. I still haven't even remotely caught silver-haired Bronze Age Babe. I'll probably never catch her. She's still taking off like a rocket.
I know.
I just had this short little burst, and I'm kind of fizzing out again.
She used to be behind both of us by a huge margin, too.
Yeah, we were probably close to 600, or right around 600 apiece. And it was over. We introduced her to shorts, and it was over. Yep.
Hey, Kenneth Bird, our friend is here. It's always great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it very much. So that's your
tip of the hat to everyone who won the Comic Book Community Awards.
Yeah. Well, everyone but one person.
Everyone but one.
Yeah.
I don't want to name it. But,
I won't. I'm not saying it either. Everyone but one.
But there's a lot of good people that really won, in my opinion, that deserved it. So.
Yeah, there was so many great deserving people that took home prizes, and then another person.
And then one more. Yep.
Yeah.
So now I guess I'm no longer in the running for best channel under 1K. So.
Nope, you're not. Good thing I'll be. The thing is, I'll be in that category at least for the next 10 years.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
10 years.
I don't know what happened to this particular short. It'll probably take me just as long for another one to happen again. So even Social Blade is already predicting me to go this way a little bit. So I'm sure I'll come down like 100 subscribers.
Well, hopefully you won't dip below the 1K. That would be painful.
That would be the biggest loss in my channel's history. It'd be funny but devastating at the same time. Up and then straight down.
Yeah, when my short hit the 18K and I got, I think, 70 some subscribers, like, YouTube really punished me for that. Like,
and that's what I'm afraid is going to happen.
They wouldn't give me a new subscriber for like 6 months, or I would get one and then they would instantly take it away. Yep. Instantly.
And that's happening before.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like holding off on the new content, really, because I'm afraid YouTube's going to do that again. Well, I'll a year before I see another subscriber. So 2025 would be my new one. But I went from 870 some to 1,050.
Hey, thanks for being subscribed, and to everyone who's part of our comic book journeys on our channel. I know that we do appreciate it.
Absolutely. I wish we could all line you all up and I could high five 1,000.
That's right. That'd be cool.
So that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So what's going on DC Comics news wise?
A casting for Lanterns.
Okay.
And they have casted Kelly MacDonald. And he is an actor on Deadwood and Looper. I'm not sure what role he's going to play. And then they also casted Garrett Dillahunt as a reoccurring villain. They didn't say what character. So very cool.
Nice.
I'm excited to see what they turn out to be. But yeah, it doesn't say anything about a role.
Okay.
Yeah, this is exciting. I'm glad to see this project moving on. It just says a modern cowboy like role, and I'm like, a Green Lantern cowboy.
Yeah.
Happy. I don't know who that could be. But yeah, glad to see this project moving forward. Very excited. Very excited. I know Mr. Foo is also very excited. So maybe he'll watch it. I don't know.
Foo is a furry.
Foo is a furry. So yeah, if you're a big Green Lantern fan, this is great news for you. And that wraps up all the news because it's pretty slow news.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole heck of a lot of news going on.
No. Just a lot of spec. Who played Scarlet Witch? Elizabeth Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
In talks with Warner Brothers to play a role, but it doesn't say what. Could be
Superhero
anything.
related?
Just says in talks with Warner Brothers. So that's it. So speculate till the cows come home. That'd be cool if it was a DC role. A lot of people want her to play Catwoman.
That would be interesting.
In the James Gunn universe. It would be interesting. I don't know. It sounds like maybe Josh Brolin passed up Green Lantern. He was supposed to play Hal Jordan, but he may be interested in the Deathstroke role, which I think he'd be great for, but maybe it's too similar of a role to Cable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Karen Gillian as Poison Ivy. That'd be pretty fun. Nubia.
Speaking of Poison Ivy, coming out this week is the Poison Ivy Swamp Thing Feral Trees #1. Are you going to buy that?
I don't know. I don't recall seeing that, so I'll have to check it out.
Okay.
A really great fan cast that I'm sure will never happen. Chris Hemsworth as Aquaman.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen. He has the hair, but I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson as Mera. That'd be perfect. They'd be the perfect Aqua couple. That would be a lot of fun. I think that would be really fun. Tom Holland as Nightwing. That'd be pretty cool. Mark Ruffalo as Dr. Fate. I could see that. Jeremy Renner as Jim Gordon. That's cool. A young Jim Gordon.
So they're someone is just taking all the Marvel actors and actor cast and then trying to say if they were DC, this would be the perfect casting for them. Yeah.
Chris Pratt, Green Arrow. Chris Evans, Booster Gold, which won't happen because we know who Booster Gold is.
Chris Evans is Booster Gold? No.
Haley Seinfeld as Wonder Woman. She played in the Hawkeye series.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's the only thing I know her from, so I'm not sure. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Batman. Don't know if I'd be cool with that. No thanks. And Elizabeth Olsen as Catwoman. That's twice I've seen her on 2 lists. Catwoman. Interesting. And we are less than a year away from the new Superman movie.
Yeah, we are. We're almost, in not too much further. We're 6 months away, really.
Yeah, 6 months away from Superman. So I fully expect the news, from most of 2025 to be Superman.
Sure.
To dominate. So
I just hope it's good.
It will be. It will be. Give it, have faith.
Okay.
It will be.
So that's pretty much everything that's going on news-wise?
Yep. That's true.
Awesome. So for our retro review this week, we're feeling blue. And you chose a retro review, and it's going to be Blue Devil. It was essentially, you said just pick a Blue Devil story. Why did you choose Blue Devil tonight, and what story are you going to feature?
I chose Blue Devil because you had a Blue Devil story. You had a Blue Devil video.
Had a Blue Devil Instagram post.
Instagram post, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, I like Blue Devil. He's cool. Very underrated. I don't think we've ever talked about him. Solo. We mentioned him in the Shadow Pack before. So that's really why you kind of inspired me to choose it.
Okay. So which book are you going to do? Because we're going to have you go first.
I'm bringing mine up now, and I'm choosing his first appearance.
This is one of those inserts that was inserted into another comic book, kind of like they did with New Teen Titans and some other titles.
Correct. And this is it's credited as the first appearance, so which is very cool. So here it is.
So it's Firestorm number 24, but you're just doing the 16-page Blue Devil insert.
Yeah, and here's the cover, and you can see just off to the left here, there's a little Blue Devil ad for it. So, yeah, I want to skip this really cool Firestorm story. And this is another first appearance, another key issue for someone else. I don't remember. So, for all you key people out there, this is a must-have. So here, and this is my first time reading this issue. I've been on the hunt for this issue for a while, but I've never read it. So This was a cool and unsuspecting first read for me in a couple of different ways. And as we progress through it, I'll point them out of cool stuff that I didn't really know.
So can I say one thing really quick?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I have always wished in these comic books that have like these little insert previews like you're seeing right now, this is the mock cover for the insert, what you're showing right now. I wish that they would do, or when they would do facsimiles of the comic books, they would offer the mock cover as a real main cover.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that would be really cool. I especially would like that on the DC Comics Presents 26 with the New Teen Titans. I wish that mock cover was a real cover variant.
It'd be cool if I could get some OG art for Blue Devil.
Yeah.
I wonder who did. I forget who did this.
Paris Cullins did a lot of Blue Devil artwork. Yeah. But anyway, take it away. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to throw my change in the fountain. And I'll say hi really quick to Cali Comics, who's joined us. Thanks for stopping by. And I Collect a Lot has also joined us too. You're just in time. We're kicking off the first retro review.
So we're flashing back all the way to June of 1984. Where Wonder Woman had a movie. Again, so this is a Blue Devil first appearance. So we catch Dan Cassidy, who's the Blue Devil. He's filming. He's a stunt person in the movie business, and he's doing some stunts with his new suit. So this is kind of where I learned a few things about the Blue Devil that I didn't know before. I remember him from the Shadow Pack, Justice League Dark, stuff like that. Not necessarily. I knew he was also an actor, but this kind of takes a different place. So, yeah, they're doing some stunts here, and they're talking about the suit. And you see him walking in his dressing room, taking it off, and he's talking about tweaking the story, and he's also featured in an issue of Stuntman, the magazine, and Dan Cassidy is making some tweaks to his suit. And in the magazine, he mentions his hundreds of tiny servo motor links with cable tendons to power the genetic progression in his suit. A lot of fancy, cool stuff talk that I know nothing about. So you can see it's kind of like a power suit kind of thing. And this is kind of like we're seeing two people read this magazine at the same time. On the left, we have the villain of the story, who we'll get to in a minute. And we have on the right, his little gopher, who's reading it in awe and kind of talking to Dan Cassidy about it. So Dan says, hey, come over here, check this out. And he's got the arm popped off, and you can see him making some tweaks to it. And he's showing him how everything works. And he's saying this is the cybergenetic relay between his glove and the trident. which makes him the only person who could use the suit. And he's talking about future upgrades such as night vision, mini gills, just to name a few. His boss walks in, and her name is, I think it's Marla, if I recall. And she's saying, hey, we got filming to do. Hopefully your suit's okay. They want an unpowered mock-up of the suit, for certain purposes for the movie. They go on set, and Dan Cassidy is not really enjoying the unpowered version of his suit. Doesn't really care for it, but they're insistent on him having an unpowered version of it for insurance purposes, or scenes where they don't really need the power suit. Reluctantly, Dan Cassidy agrees to make this non-powered suit. And then here we cut to our main villain of the story, who we'll find out here soon who he is. He comes in and he's joking with the security guard how he is here to steal the Blue Beetle suit. Couldn't be more honest with that. And the cop says, hey, that's really funny. I love jokes, but what are you really doing here? And he hits him with some kind of super villain beam. And incapacitates the security guard. So we cut back to the studio, and they have the unpowered suit. And whoever's under the suit just really loving the suit, having fun with it, joking around. Here comes our villain, captures, and this is part that made me kind of like laugh a little bit here. So turns out our main villain is Trickster, and he captures the Blue Devil suit with this comedically long fishing pole and hooking the Blue Devil, where is it? Right here. Right in the underpants. So he's got this fishing pole, and he's going to haul away the Blue Devil by his underwear. So classic. And there's the gopher down there recognizes him. He says, gosh, it's the Trickster, the guy who fights the Flash. So here we have our little crossover here between DC continuity and our new Blue Devil. And he gets taken away, and the gopher runs over to Dan and says, hey, Trickster just took your Blue Devil suit, but he thinks it's you. But they actually took Wayne, the guy who's in the suit. So Blue Devil, Dan Cassidy's like, this is the perfect time for me to try out my new suit. Some cool upgrades I've been making. His trident, is like, got a rocket engine in it, so he can hold on and fly. He's chasing down Trickster, blows right past him. Trickster says, that looked like another Blue Devil. And Wayne, who's in the stunt double, it's weird because Dan Cassidy's a stunt double, but he's got a stunt double in a non-powered suit. So he's a stunt double for the stunt double. His name's Wayne. So Wayne is saying, hey, listen, let me down. Clearly, I'm not the Blue Devil. I'm not the guy you're looking for. Wayne gets a lick in and finally gets dropped down. And Trickster is able to demask him and realize that, hey, this is not the guy I'm looking for. This is not the suit I'm looking for. Something ain't right. So he finally sees the other Blue Devil and says, that's the guy. That's the suit. You're using some kind of voice modulator, but I recognize you anywhere. So, give me the suit or Wayne gets it. Blue Devil says, yeah, that's not going to fly. Big battle ensues. Another great line by Trickster. Trickster says, you had your chance. Now you face my electro neuronic disruptor, classic supervillain. Like, I'm going to get you with this gadget that I made, and it's called that. But Blue Devil's getting the upper hand. The real Blue Devil's getting the upper hand. He's able to go toe-to-toe with the Trickster. He's got some gadgets up his sleeve, too. Trickster is able to hit him with these, I don't know what to call it, some kind of slinky with a little ring. That panel is so cool, says Cali Comics. It is. It's very cool. I like it. But the Blue Devil is able to show his strength and his acrobat skills, and he's able to just Hulk right out of these things, and he's punching Blue Devil, or he's punching Trickster pretty good, and he's down. And now he goes over to Wayne and says, "Hey, are you okay?" And the Trickster is able to fly off and get away. The police show up. They are able to attend to Danny, or attend to Wayne. Danny says, "Hey, this is a really great test for the suit." And Danny replies, like, "Yeah, it failed. I had all these great gadgets, and they failed. So he's going back to the drawing board, and that is our big cliffhanger for this issue. And then we'll go off to, this spins off to Blue Devil, Volume 1, Issue 1. So very cool.
Yeah. We'll say hello to John's Comics with Kids, who's joined us. No problem, John. Didn't need anything specific when I texted, so.
And I actually napped. Glad one of us was able to.
So I decided for my pick, as you said, they spun this off into his own title, Blue Devil Volume 1, Issue 1. And I decided just to go a couple issues into it for my retro review. And I'm going to do issue number 3. And originally I was looking at, and I actually read a different story. And that story ended up really being a two-parter, and I thought, no, I think it would be better to save that. And as I was looking at other covers, I was like, well, look at that cover with Metallo. I'm like, that is such a cool cover. I'm like, and I kind of looked, I'm like, this looks like it, pretty much it's a one-issue story. So that's the one that I decided to do, Blue Devil Volume 1, Issue number 3. My story as well as the one that you did, Tony, from 1984.
Very cool.
So we start out inside S.T.A.R Labs, and they have done a scan of the Blue Devil costume because this is affixed to Daniel Cassidy, rather, and they're trying to really understand how they can get him removed from this and exactly what the suit does. They say the suit is an extraordinary piece of engineering. And then you hear someone say, "Tell you the truth, Doc, I'd be a lot more impressed with it myself if I could get the damn thing off." And you realize on our 2-page spread there, and it's Ted Cassidy, on the board. He's kind of been he's bonded to the board there as they're running their scans and their tests, and they're just really impressed with some of the stuff that they're seeing with the suit and the bonding between his organic structure and the mechanics of the suit. And they're like, well, if we could figure out how it happened once, we might be able to figure out a clue on how to be able to undo this. So essentially, they asked him to retell his origin. And what you're getting at this point, essentially, is that page that you find in a lot of Copper Age comic books where it recaps what you've missed in case you're new just coming in. So pretty much from DC Comics Presents that you reviewed up until the previous issue, Blue Devil number 2, these are the events that are going on. It talks about how he was a stunt man, and then they were filming, and Nebrios, a demon, attacked him, and he was trying to save his co-star Sharon from him. Sharon Scott, the actress. And this demon zapped him with this magical blast, and what he did is wielded him into the suit, making the Blue Devil suit permanent on him. And then things kind of, you can still go back to that same page we were on. And then he says things kind of kept getting really crazy. He battled Shockwave, and then Doc Clybourne showed up and convinced me that I had to stop him, so I did, and recover the canister that Shockwave stole from S.T.A.R. And then he flew off in this flying saucer. And then to top it all off, this little lawyer weasel showed up with a court order forbidding him to wear the suit in public. He says, as if I had a choice. So now we cut over to Metallo, who is pretty upset because he's the one who sent Shockwave to go retrieve this item from S.T.A.R Laboratories. And he says, after all I've done for you, this means, it's your fault that I lost the means to destroy Superman. He's like, hey, ease up. He's like, ease up? Is that the thanks I get from you? You bumbling idiot, essentially, is what he's saying. He's asking for support from his followers. They're like, oh, yeah, whatever you say, Metallo, you're right, you're right. He's like, well, I'm going to go do the job that you weren't able to do. And he's like, what if Blue Devil tries to stop you? He's like, if he's foolish enough to challenge me, I'll bring you back his horns. So now we cut over to WGBS, and Clark Kent is being told about, it was terrific. We got to run this again on the 6 o'clock news, this footage of Shockwave and this Blue Devil stopping him in this tracks. We got the whole thing on videotape. And Clark Kent is thinking, well, I'm glad this Blue Devil was here since I was on a mission in space as Superman. He's like, but what was it all about? And his friend says, well, apparently Shockwave stole the canister from S.T.A.R Labs, and word is it contains some sort of ultra-concentrated super kryptonite. And Clark is like, super kryptonite? Why on earth would S.T.A.R Labs be making super kryptonite? Now we cut over to Marla. And she's taking some phone calls. She's in the movie industry, that in the story that was introduced that Tony read. And they're saying that Ted Cassidy is jeopardizing the film's profits. And she's like, you could just call off your legal beagles while I try to settle this within the family. And she says that she's got Sharon flying to him today. She's going to watch out for him. And they say, well, will she make certain he doesn't wear the costume anymore? And she's like, well, I can't promise that. He's grown very attached to it, which literally he has. Now in Los Angeles International Airport, Sharon has arrived, and she says, it's my fault that he's stuck in that costume. I was the one that he was saving. I feel that I have to do this. She's in Los Angeles because she's going to fly over to Metropolis to try to find him. And she's like, he was angry, he was scared, even though he told me to stay away. And she's reminiscing back to what happened. He's like, I'm not a man anymore. I'm a Blue Devil. He's like, don't you understand? I thought you and me but I know that's never going to happen. And that means he wanted to stir the spaghetti sauce with her. And knowing that's not going to happen tears him apart, and he walked out. So now we go back to S.T.A.R Labs, and Dan is getting dressed, and he's wondering what the verdict is. And he's being told it's too soon. We need to analyze this. It could take days, weeks, and he's like, or forever. And she's like, I'm not going to lie to you. We don't know about magic. What we don't know about magic would fill the library. And he says, well, I appreciate you, being honest with me. I better start to learn to live with this. She's like, don't give up. There's always hope. And he's like, well, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'll be in touch. And as he's getting ready to leave, that flying saucer lands on top of the S.T.A.R Laboratories building. And Blue Devil hears it, and she's like, I don't hear anything. And he's like, hey, I have big ears and special amplifiers built in, and there's something on the roof. And then there's a huge explosion, and it's Metallo's men that are breaking in, and they see Blue Devil right away. As soon as they break in, they start firing. He's telling the doctor to take cover, and he's trying to hold them off the best he can, and he's making some progress until Metallo walks in, and he's like, cease fighting immediately or all these people will die. So commands Metallo, the man with the kryptonite heart. And he's like, who is this joker? And she's like, you better do as he says. Metallo is one of the most dangerous men alive. And he gets his prize. He gets that super kryptonite that they're working on. And he said, yeah, they didn't even get around to locking it up again, boss. And he's like, well, this will mean the utter destruction of Superman. So Blue Devil's like, no way, pal. I didn't waste all that effort duking it out with Shockwave, so you can just waltz in here and take this. And they start firing on him, and he gets hit a little bit. And first they thought that he's killed. And Metallo is like, yeah, he's the first one. Next comes Superman. And they drag Blue Devil out, and an alarm has gone off, and they realize police are rushing to them, and there's also a flying object heading in fast. And Metallo's like, perfect, it's the Man of Steel. This is exactly what I wanted. And he says, well, now it comes for the moment which I had planned and schemed for, and he inserts the super kryptonite in, and he feels power as I've never known before, surging through my circuits. Superman is flying in and heading in to S.T.A.R Labs, and Metallo releases on that panel that you just see like this super super burst of energy and kryptonite, and Superman just narrowly avoids it as the building is nothing but kryptonite radiation. If he had been a millisecond sooner, he would have been fried in it, he says. Inside, we see the thugs that are carrying Blue Devil away, and they realize how heavy he is. They still think he's dead. But what's happening is he's starting to internally heal, and the guards aren't aware of it until they see him stand up and are getting ready. He's getting ready to smash their heads in together and escape from them. We cut back to Metallo, who's making his demands that Superman surrenders and exposes himself to the kryptonite radiation that saturates the building, or all the hostages die. Blue Devil has made his way back in there, and he's like, well, think of what the criminal world will think when I'm the one who vanquished the Man of Steel. Not even Lex Luthor could challenge me then. And someone says, he's the one in the green and purple spacesuit, right? And Metallo's like, what? And he realizes Blue Devil is back. He's like, I consider green, but Green Devil just didn't have the right ring. And he's like, ready to get your gears stripped, Middle Mouth? So the fight starts again with Metallo's men starting to attack Blue Devil. He's really holding his own this time, and he's bouncing all over the place while he's taking them out. He's escaping the rays that they're shooting on him, and still, even with his feet, defeating them. He's hopping from one place to another, and he says, as long as you're airborne, I'm pretty close to being a sitting duck. So he's going to try to destroy the riding vehicles that they're using, and he's able to do that. And you see on that panel right on the bottom, he just takes the vehicle and literally rips that metal right in half. He says, we're the only two left standing, and I'm just itching to make it a one person who's standing. Now we're in Metropolis International Airport, and we see that Danny's co-star has arrived in Metropolis with the hopes of finding him and calming him down. And when she gets there, she hears about the hostages and the Metallo situation that's going on at S.T.A.R Labs and the new superhero that's over there, Blue Devil. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she tells the cabbie to take her to S.T.A.R Labs immediately. So when she gets over to S.T.A.R Labs, Sharon wants to get in. Of course, the cops aren't letting her in there. And some people are like, they're wondering what's going on and who's in there with them. And someone says Blue Devil is. And someone vouches for Sharon. And I believe it's the guy that was with her at the airport. And he says, hey, let her through. Blue Devil will see that she's safe. So Superman is saying, I wish I could be more confident that Blue Devil's doing fine so far, but the real test comes when he goes one-on-one with Metallo. And that's what we see. And Metallo is monologuing, I want to tear you limb from limb. And he's like, hey, you talk a great fight, but let's see you back it up. And he's like, with my super kryptonite coursing through my circuits, I'm virtually unstoppable. And he's really delivering some good blows to Blue Devil. But Blue Devil turns around and fires right back at him, saying, I don't stay dead. So you can think you can kill me, but I don't stay dead. And he's like, if you're so tough, how come you're still standing? How come I'm still standing and you're lying on your butt? And Metallo uses his arms to outstretch and start to crush him, crush his windpipe. And then he's like, what's the matter, Blue Devil? No monologuing, no clever quips to report. And he busts his arms literally off of Metallo, and who didn't see that coming. And he's like, you've ruined one of my hands. He's like, but my kryptonite power might yet and will destroy you. He's like, hey, I got your number. You talk too much. First, you say you got a kryptonite for a heart, and then you tell me that kryptonite gives you all your powers. It doesn't take a genius to realize that you're in big trouble if someone stole your poor heart away. So he rips his heart out, and Metallo is stunned and falls backwards. And he's congratulated by the doctor in S.T.A.R Labs, and they're like, this is wonderful. Let's return the kryptonite to the containment canister. He's still alive, but otherwise he's non-functional. He's like, alive? I thought he was just some kind of robot. You mean me saying that I was tearing his heart out meant I really was ripping his heart out? And she says, I see that if you're going to keep playing superhero, I'll have to lend you our updated villains profile. All of a sudden he gets shot at again by some more of Metallo's men who've started to recover. And they think they're doing good until they realize who else is in the building. And it is the Man of Steel. Superman is Blue Devil says, it's you. He's like, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't be more help, but it looks like you did fine all by yourself. I've been hearing a lot about the Blue Devil in the past 24 hours, and I'm happy to meet you. He's like, hey, I'm Dan Cassidy. It's nice to meet you. And Superman says, you spared me plenty of grief by taking out Metallo, which raises the question, Jeanette, why has S.T.A.R developed super kryptonite? And she's like, well, you see, we felt there should be an effective weapon against, in case, say, a Phantom Zone villain. Yeah, a Phantom Zone villain. In case one of those escapes while you and Supergirl were in space. You know what's happened before. And he's like, oh, okay. And he kind of buys the answer, but I really don't think he does, because we all know that that's not the true answer. They're doing it in case Superman went evil and they had a way to stop him. And he's talking to Blue Devil because BD says that he's got a problem. He fought this demon. The costume got bonded to him. And he's like, well, magic and demons is a little bit out of my department, but I know someone who might be able to help you. Then arriving, finally, I actually should backtrack from what I said before. Now she has arrived to S.T.A.R Labs and wants to get Dan, and she just misses him because she sees him fly up with Superman, up and away. She wonders where he's going, and she wants him to come back, and that's how the issue ends. What will happen is Superman will take him up to the Justice League satellite to meet with Zatanna.
Very nice.
So thoughts about the two stories that we reviewed tonight and some grades?
I like Blue Devil.
I do too.
This is an interesting iteration of Blue Devil. The Blue Devil that I come to enjoy is less mechanical, more mystical.
Okay.
And if you have seen the Swamp Thing TV show, there's a lot of Dan Cassidy Blue Devil in there, especially right at the kind of the end. It's more of a spiritual transformation, not I'm stuck in a suit in the back. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, I like this origin. I can see how they got to where they are now. So I love it. 9 out of 10.
I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10. Really did enjoy it. I haven't reread this in quite some time, so it was like visiting with an old friend, and really did enjoy it.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Blue Devil. Very cool. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked that one. That was fun. And maybe some time, because it was issue 4 was Zatanna. That was the one I was originally going to retro review. And it's a 2-parter, and I'm like, no, the story was good, and I'm like, this would be better to save some time when we do both parts. And then if we ever have a third person with us, if Foo's back or we have a guest star or whatever, there's a later issue with Zatanna in too. Maybe we can do like a Blue Devil Zatanna team up type retro review. So, something to look at for next year's planning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that brings us to the book show portion and talking about our channel. I'll let you go first.
Yeah. So coming up on the channel, maybe that kind of incorporates what my book show is going to be about. So,
okay.
I got two things I want to show you. Well, a couple things I want to show you. So, here is a preview of what we're going to talk about. So, my books from CBCS came back for Baltimore Comic Con. I want to talk about that. Here is my really cool Booster Gold #1 silver screen convention foil exclusive. Here we have a Dan Jurgens and a Mike DiCarlo. Note that none of them chose gold.
Yeah.
Very missed opportunity. And as you can see behind me, I've got some new posters.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to share them with you real quick. So they're pretty cool. And again, this is all thanks to my LCS for just being awesome and making these available for me. And these are all promo posters, not like Walmart prints or whatever. And my LCS doesn't really display DC promo posters for some reason. So these are all brand new. I was the first one to kind of unfold them.
Nice.
Absolute Batman. #1. Yeah, look at that.
I love the white frame with that. That really, sets it off.
Yeah. And I chose white because it was the only option available.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of worked out. Wonder Woman.
Nice.
Yeah, this one is pretty cool too. So very happy with it, the way this turned out. So very happy. And last but not least, I did get Superman. I wasn't able to frame it, but I did get the all-in
Nice.
one as well. So I got a bunch of these at Michael's, and it was a pack. And some of them were, I didn't realize it, like giant crack going down the plastic. It was all tore up. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna put my cool new posters there, but I got a whole bunch. See, like here's my Superman. Haven't even unfolded it yet, so
nice.
This is brand new. Very excited for it. Very excited. So, and that goes about what's coming up on my channel. I think I'm gonna do a deep dive into some of my posters because there's a lot of posters that I haven't even framed yet that you hooked me up with. I've only was able to frame a fraction of them. So. And I really want to frame them. Yeah, I don't have the space to put them up, but someday I will, and I want to be ready.
Yeah, I don't think people want me to put stuff on my walls. I never hear any requests for that, so that's probably why I don't do that.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Okay. And anything going on channel-wise that you want to mention, or?
Oh yeah, like I said, we might do a deep dive into one of these and talk about my my books, but no, that's okay.
Short attention span. So for me, on my channel, we'll talk about what's already on the channel. There is my back issue of the week YouTube short, Venom, to tie in with the Venom Last Dance movie, is my current short. And then on Tuesday, I did a comic book editions video where I did some of my SDCC haul. John's Comics with Kids got me my favorite Wonder Woman book signed by another one of the creative team from the Bronze Age. And I showed some other recent editions. It was an all DC haul. So that's already on my channel. Coming up this week, tomorrow, will be a DC Comics book as the back issue of the week. It's from 1987. It's an issue number 1. It was during one of those post-crisis reboots. So I'll tell you that. So you learn about that comic book tomorrow. And there's a lot of stuff going on in this single one issue. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like, whoa. It's a lot of stuff squeezed into a little bag. So that drops tomorrow. On Tuesday, I commissioned the Frame Brothers, F-R-A-I-M, Frame Brothers, to do a Dazzler commission for me. And I'm going to unbox that on Tuesday's video. And not only is it Dazzler, it's Dazzler with another character, and in the background is an homage to another character, and all 3 characters have something in common. So Marvel fans can think about that for a little bit, but I'll do the full unboxing on that on Tuesday. So that's what's currently on the channel and what's coming this week on the channel.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like an exciting week.
Yeah, I think so. So anything else going on? Or we're going to wrap up? One thing I wanted... I didn't show my book show yet. And I'd be upset if I didn't do that. One thing I'll say, too, share a cover with us on Instagram, a book show. Just use the hashtag Fanboys Live and the Retro Review, because we love seeing what you have to share with us.
Absolutely.
So for a book show, I decided, since Blue Devil was introduced in the Firestorm book as an insert, let's do a Blue Devil cover with Firestorm. How about that? I thought that was a pretty good one. Firestorm versus Blue Devil. Blue Devil issue number 23. And 5 villains in there too.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that is my book show tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very, very appropriate.
Yeah. Anything else lined up for your week? Anything going to the LCS this week? Anything you're looking forward to?
Oh, man. Yeah, lots of stuff. So my LCS came up with like a membership, yearly membership. You get the box, the subscription box is free, but this one's a paid membership. So I'm watching with a very close eye to see what benefits you get with that. Right now, they're just offering, if you sign up for the membership, you get early access to some of their sales. You get an exclusive yearly T-shirt. You get 25% off one-time use coupon. A bunch of stuff that I forget already, but very excited for it. So looking forward to it. And I've got my eye on something in their shop that I might snag up. I have like $40 in store credit plus a $25 coupon or 25% off coupon. Might marry those two together.
Is it a comic book or is it an item?
It's an item. It is comic book related.
Sure.
Very looking forward to possibly getting it. And it's not going into my room. It would be going into my daughter's room.
Oh, my.
So she's a really big fan of this character. So, but I'm going to do a cool unboxing if I get it.
Is it a character that I'm a really big fan of, too?
No, but someone on the show is.
Okay.
If that narrows it down.
It does.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of possibility for some good content on my channel. So
awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to both of our channels,
links are in the description for this video.
Yes. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for the greatest DC comic show on YouTube, Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Have a safe, happy, healthy, and successful week, and we'll see you soon.